Hi. Today's video is, I think, a little bit more for the parents, but still helpful for educators too. But today's question came in the form of needs that need addressed versus needs that need a goal and a plan. Sounds kind of the same, right? It's really not. It's really not. So whenever we're talking about data and we're talking about present levels of performance, we're talking about performance that allows engagement, enrichment, and growth in general education curriculum, okay? So obviously when we're talking about little people, we are talking about more of the functionality and what that looks like for a developmental checklist. But once we get a little bit further in school, early elementary and up, we need to really be using that data to say, okay, this present levels of performance statement is like this big, but good, because if it's this big, we're hoping it has a lot of data that explains a lot of things. But we need to be addressing what in those levels do we need to be concerned about as it pertains to general ed curriculum, core standards, as well as social, emotional, behavioral, relationships, those things. So just because our present levels are based on the data that's talking about general ed settings and curriculum and how to help students be successful in those settings and with that curriculum and meet those core content standards, doesn't mean that we can't address a need and discuss in other notes. Every IEP comes with additional notes section. We can be very purposeful in there about how we're going to address X, Y, and Z that may be a need that we don't want to ignore, but may not be a need that rises to the level of this needs a goal, this needs a plan, and this is how we're going to move them from this to this. There is a difference. So parents, whenever you are concerned about something that has to do with your child's education, regardless if it's functional, if it's social emotional, if it's academic, you need to bring that to the table. Educators, you need to be thoughtful and listen. Now, can we always do every single thing a parent wants? Sorry, parents, we really can't, because sometimes it doesn't fall within the realm of a school building. Sometimes it really is beyond our control. That said, there is a place for parental concerns on the IEP. It is not enough to say, Johnny's mom is worried about math. That's not enough. You are supposed to put, as educators, Johnny's mom is concerned with math as it pertains to, and get that out of mom, get that out of dad, get that out of grandma, get that out of aunt. Whomever is bringing these concerns to you at this table, try to get as many specifics as you can, and then the school team will address these concerns via, you can put additional notes page for how you're going to implement some sort of a strategy, or by linking family to, maybe it's an outside agency that you're just going to give them information on. Maybe it is something that aligns with your data and your present levels of performance. And then you can say, address this through goal 1, address this through goal 2. It is not enough just to put families concerned about. What are we going to do about what they're concerned about? So parents, you need to be heard calmly, rationally, collaboratively, but educators, you need to be truly listening. We need to address needs and we need to address concerns. Not every need and concern requires a goal and a plan, but there needs to be, this is a true concern, I've documented this concern, this is how the school team will assist the family with this concern. Now, I say school team because you're all on the same team. The IEP team includes family and everyone. I'm just saying if it's the family bringing the concern, and if it's a concern that the school also has, then you would say something such as addressed in goal 1, addressed in goal 2, because you also see this concern based on your data and your present levels of performance, and you've decided that you need a goal and that you need a plan. You need a service to help facilitate meeting that goal. So it's perfectly okay to say that that's how you're going to do it. Maybe it is something that, wow, that's not something that comes about when it comes to the school day or the core components of the general ed curriculum or socialization or anything within the walls of the school. But we know that the resources in the community that could possibly help with that concern are X, Y, and Z, and share those connections with families. So just a little tidbit there about differences in need. We don't want to ignore any need. It's just not every need is a need that aligns to data and present levels of performance and a goal and a plan. But it still needs to be addressed, and you need to still document that you have addressed it. And parents, you need to still bring it forward. Maybe you're not sure if it can be addressed within the school day or if it should be, but maybe you're just looking for some support. And educators, even if it's, oh my goodness, what does that fall under? How could we possibly reach out to your LEA, reach out to other educators, reach out to other families maybe. You don't want to break confidentiality by just, using names or anything, but maybe you know a family who uses a resource, and maybe you could get some information from that family and share it with the other family without using names. Be mindful and remember that the plan is very important, and getting your documentation correct is legally important as well as morally important. But don't let that get in the way of actually hearing your family's concerns and actually documenting how you're going to support them with those concerns. Rather, they're concerns that are the level of a goal, or they're just a concern that a family has that maybe you can help alleviate in some way, shape, or form. And family, regardless of what your concern is, write them down, bring them with you. You never know. Maybe there is a resource, or maybe there is something within the school, or maybe the school's seeing the same things you're seeing, and maybe there's already something in the works by way of a goal that you'll be talked to about and be able to agree upon. So remember to be open with one another, and remember to voice all concerns. And educators, remember that just because you wrote a draft of that IEP and it already looks great, doesn't mean you shouldn't change things. And especially while your whole team is there, which includes the family. And that's why it's a draft. It's a draft, it's a draft, it's a draft, it's a draft, until everyone signed it. And even then, it's a working document. So be very intentional with that parent concern box and get as much information as you can about that concern, what it looks like, and what environments, and what situations. And then how is the school team going to address those concerns and provide support.